conduct a hypothesis test with the null hypothesis being mu equal to 70 and the alternative being mu less than 70. We're given the summary statistics, a sample mean x bar 64.7, a sample standard deviation S equals 13.9, and a sample size n equals 35, and we're testing this with a significance level of alpha equal 0.1. So here, let's determine what the critical values would be for a one-tailed test arguing less than with a significance level of 0.1. So here, since I don't know sigma, I'm going to be using a t-test. So I'm going to use the t-distribution to find this probability and this percentile. So I'll press stat and use my calculators. This time I would use the t-distribution. Now remember, the t-distribution is based upon the degrees of freedom. The degrees of freedom is one less than the sample size. So since the sample size is 35, the degrees of freedom will be 34. Here I'm looking for a left tail test arguing less than, and that left tail needs a probability of 0.1. So I need less than something is equal to 0.1. And so if I compute the value then for the critical value will be negative 0.307, negative 1.307. Negative 1.307. So if it's outside that boundary in the red, we would reject the null hypothesis. So let's do this. I'm going to close that. Now we're going to run the test. We're running a t-test. So here we're going to go to t-statistics, one sample with the summary data. So in this case, the sample mean they gave us was 64.7. The sample standard deviation they gave us, S, is 13.9. And our sample size, N, is 35. We're arguing that the mean is less than 70. So the null hypothesis would be it's equal to 70. The alternative would be it is less than 70. So I'm going to compute. And so here I have a test statistic, t, which is indeed what? Less than the negative 1.307. So my test statistic here is negative 2 to 2 decimal places, 26, negative 2.26. So in this case, I would reject because it is less than the negative 1.307. It's further off to the left, the negative direction. So we're going to reject the null hypothesis because this is sufficient evidence for the alternative. Sufficient evidence to conclude that the mean is actually less than 70. And we would get this with a p-value much less than 0.1. The p-value here is actually 0.0153. So to 3 decimal places, we'll put 0.015.